What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Really dusty from the job. Hey, I just had this conversation with a woman, and it's very interesting because Kevin Samuels actually did a series on this. And so it's interesting that this just popped up in an organic conversation that I just had with a lady. And she said, working women don't need a man. We want a man. And listen, ladies, this narrative that you're proposing here is backwards. It's inverted. Men don't need women. Women need men. Men want women. And I'll explain why. Ladies, think about everything in your life. Your phone, your car, your job, your house, your toilet, the roads you drive or walk on. Any and everything that you utilize was built by a man. Tell me I'm wrong. Even tampons and maxi pads were designed by men. Women didn't come up with those things. Look it up. Pantyhose. It's made by men. Was makeup made by men? I don't know. But I can tell you, the vast majority of the manufacturing of your makeup, even if it wasn't a male idea, it comes from men. Men manufacture that stuff. Men transport it to stores. Everything you have in your life comes from a man. What do men need from women? Nothing really. Reproduction. That's about it. That's more of a desire. We want children. We want children that are ours. We don't want to raise, generally, someone else's child. I don't have a problem if a guy wants to marry a single mother, but I don't think a guy should be acting like he's daddy. Those children have a dad, even if the mother doesn't like them. Even if she doesn't want to associate with that guy and in turn wants to cut that guy off from his children. The simple fact of the matter is those children have a dad. I don't think a guy should be acting like he's a dad. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Nevertheless, men don't need women. We want women. We desire women. But we don't need them. We built the world. Everything you see in this world, we built. I'm on a construction site. First time ever working really in construction. I decided, I do it. Money's good, whatnot. Gave me a good contract. Better than the office jobs. Although in the office job, just hit me up, personal stuff there. And they offered a better offer because now they realize they can't go without me. And there are 3 women in total on the construction site. Do you know what they do? They make everybody's life difficult. That's what they do. They come around with an attitude and they complicate processes. You know what they also do? They change the construction plans multiple times after construction has been completed on a particular section or project of a place. That's what they do. They come in and they just make trouble. And then they get an attitude when you say, hey, look, you know what? We don't really appreciate doing this same job 3 or 4 times. Then they start writing emails and they just do goofy stuff. But otherwise, we don't need them. What we need from women is reproduction and companionship. What we want, let me not even say we need it. We want it. We want companionship and reproduction. And increasingly, women of the 21st century, in their extreme arrogance and looking down on their male counterparts, their equals, because let's be real, even though you want a guy that's high value, most of you, and this is not an insult, ladies, don't take it wrong, but most of you aren't high value. Most of you are just regular. 99% of you are like 99% of the men, which is quite regular. And the top high value women and men are like the 1%, 5%, 2%, whatever you want to call it. Let's just say there's 20%. Most of you aren't the 20%. Most of you women are the 80%, just like most of the men. But you want a guy who is from the 20%, and you act accordingly to the 80% of the men, but you're actually 80% of the women. And so increasingly, women are refusing to be the companions, the mates, and the mothers that men desire. And we see this by the divorce rates, the lack of marriage rates, the amount of women looking for men, but men aren't looking for women, because men, their lives are easier now without women. He has all the benefits of all his money without all of the complaints and all the hardships, and all the doubts and suspicions and all this other stuff and the problems that a woman might bring into his life because she thinks she's better than him. And so what is he? He's generally happy, and it's even worse on the non-Muslim side of the game, because the non-Muslims, they get like sex like it's candy on Halloween. They just go out, they got Tinder and whatever else, and it's just a trade of physical fluids for them. And so they even get their physical needs met. Ladies, understand, when you approach a guy or a guy approaches you, he might be needy in his behaviors, which is unattractive, and I tell guys not to be needy. But really, he doesn't need you. The vast majority of men, and this is the foundation behind the tweet that I made recently that a lot of women got mad at, is that, a lot of brothers are more situated and appropriate for marriage than sisters are. Because they are. They're financially prepared themselves for marriage. They've gotten themselves together in terms of marriage. And then what happens? Sisters come along with a whole bunch of demands, and they don't offer anything, including at least a decent demeanor. So who's appropriate for marriage and who isn't? Because the guy's ready financially. Maybe he needs some maturity. Hopefully he hasn't been out, playing the field and whatnot, and so he doesn't have a whole bunch of game and sexual experience. I know that sounds unattractive to you women, but it's Islamically it's problematic if he does. So he might need some development there, but that's something you two should be doing together. But in general, he's ready, and you women aren't because of your attitudes. You don't need no man. You've bought the feminist, narrative, drank the feminist Kool-Aid, and you found out it's poisoned. Or maybe you don't know it's poisoned and you're just sick and you don't know it. Anyway, just understand that. This is not an attack on women. It's absolutely not an attack. But understand, men want you. They don't need you. So, it is what it is. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Drop it down in the comment sections. Don't be a dork about it. This is an opinion. It's not even an opinion. It's a fact. But it's presented as an opinion. So give me yours. But, have some fact base behind it. Don't get all emotional. So, man, Abuamerican, I'm out.